Welcome to Teach or Not to Teach, the vlog that explores the challenges and triumphs of education.
We are here to dig into the big questions and debates surrounding education. Join us as we talk about the latest trends, technologies, and instructional strategies.
Because at the end of the day, the goal is to provide every student with the best education possible. Let's start learning together on To Teach or Not to Teach. Hello, educator friends. Welcome back to our TNT podcast.
Yeah.
We're glad that you're here with us today. We have some great ideas for things coming up. But before we get to that, we have been so busy.
Yes.
It's been so good.
Mhm.
The month of April, we have spent more time away than here, which we are really excited about. We spent some time in Kansas at Fort Hays State University. We were with their Tiger Teacher Nation. We got to do a phenomenal session with their methods teachers and their student teachers on ways to incorporate experiences into their classrooms. And oh, it went so good. They're so motivated.
Yeah. And beautiful campus, wonderful
great.
students, staff was so kind and so amazing. Great experience. And it was a lot of fun working with the college kids.
Yeah, the
So,
university kids. So that's a new avenue for us. We love kind of that fresh, fresh meat. That's probably not right, but I think that's not it. But oh my gosh, they were so willing to, they just soaked it up.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so wonderful.
Yep.
And then later that week, we traveled to South Dakota. We presented at the TIE conference, now known as Compass Learning. We met some great educators there. We have some great places from that conference that we'll get to go to in the fall.
Yeah, that's very exciting.
Yeah, it was very exciting. And then I traveled to Alaska with Stand Tall Steve. He spoke at a Science of Reading conference. Wow, what amazing educators and the diversity in Alaska that they have. Just absolutely amazing. The conference was great. Just wonderful time. And so now we're home. We're into the nitty-gritty of state testing.
Absolutely.
And finishing the year strong.
Absolutely. Like Meg said, it's spring. And so of course, state testing is in full bloom, as in everything that's happening. If you are still in the classroom, end of the school year can be a little bit, hectic, demanding, but fun all at the same time. So we're in the depths of that. We started state testing this week, but feeling pretty good about it.
Yeah. We don't have to stress about tests anymore, because it just,
if you haven't, there's a reason for that. So go check out our latest episode, or our previous episode, I should say, on the testing tips and tricks, because we dove into that whole idea and things that we do to help. And so if you're looking for some, go check out that previous episode.
Yeah. And we'd love to hear what other tips and tricks you have if you check it out. So put it in the comments. Okay, but this episode, it's May, and so we teachers, I kind of look forward to this week in May. It's like it's kind of uplifting. So today's episode, the title is Teacher Impact. Yes, Teacher Impact. So in celebration of Teacher Appreciation Week coming up, we wanted to talk about teacher impact, how we make an impact, how do we celebrate our teachers, how do we recognize them, what are some ideas that you can do. So yeah, here we go. Teacher impact. Do you have a story at all, Kara, that you just like a teacher has just left an imprint on you?
Yeah, well, I've had a couple. I can remember some one, specifically from elementary. We called it middle school and high school. It was my third grade teacher, honestly, ironically, because that's the grade level I'm in right now. Her name was Mrs. Miedema.
Mrs. Miedema.
I can still remember her face. I can still remember her smile. And I can't remember a lot of the content that she taught me, but I do remember how she made me feel as a student. If you don't know me, I am a little bit more of a reserved, shy individual. And so as a student, you can imagine I was even more so. I was extremely shy, was not confident in my abilities whatsoever. And so she was one though that made me feel like I belonged in that classroom, that she had my back, and she made such a great impact on me. I remember um literally crying, like leading up to the last days of school because I was so sad to be leaving her. And she was actually retiring that year as well. So I wasn't even going to be able to get to see her in the hallways. And so I just remember, she made me feel important. She made me feel seen, even though I didn't, have a big voice. And so she was one that absolutely hands down made a huge impact on my life for
Yeah.
sure.
What an impact for sure. What shout out to Miss
Miedema.
Meetema.
Yeah.
Shout out to that. That's fantastic. Yeah.
And then, middle school, Mr. Vincent was his name.
Vincent.
And he was, just a real cool, chill dude. He, I do remember the content that he taught, but even more so, he just was a phenomenal educator in the sense of he was so good at building relationships with kids, even the hard kids. And we would go into his room after school just to hang out because he would be there and he'd be willing to chat with us and hang out with us. He'd, have those little, vanilla wafer cookies and we'd just hang out. And, I mean, teens and food, right?
Right?
Like, duh. So again, the content that he shared was important, but even more so the relationship that he built with me and my group of friends and how that, affects the trajectory of your educational journey and even your trajectory as your in your personal life as well. So
and how important to build that relationship, especially with our teens and junior high, middle school.
Yes,
man, they have a hard time enough with all the things they got going on. And shout out to our junior high, middle school teachers. Bless you. I have 2 teens in my house now, and there's days that I'm like, man, someone deals with like 80 of you in any given moment during their day. And gosh, yeah. So shout out to those teachers.
It just goes to show that even, we always say educators are a special kind, right?
Yes.
We are given special gifts and abilities, but even more so, even more specifically, I feel like, we're each, made to work with a certain,
Isn't that true?
age level and group of kids.
Because you talk to educators, and our educator friends that are listening to this are like, yes, I would never teach junior high or high school, or our upper ed is like, I would never teach elementary school.
Yeah.
It's so true. I think Karen and I have talked about this before. Now that we're in 3rd grade, I've only taught 2nd and 3rd. Kara's been K1, 2, 3. And I don't think now I wouldn't want to go back down. I don't think it would be my sweet spot anymore. I'm really happy in 3rd grade.
Yeah.
They're great there.
And it just kind of goes to show, your growth as an educator as well.
Yeah.
And,
like kind of where your spot is.
Knowing where your spot is. And I always think, you as an educator, I feel like you always kind of know when it's time for a change in order for you to grow and try something new. And
yeah, you just have to still that constant being uncomfortable, being comfortable with being uncomfortable. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And then I think of a teacher that had a great impact on me in high school. One was on the music side of things. My band instructor, he was phenomenal, just encouraging you and just like letting you be your own unique individual. But then it was also Mr. Douse was his name, and he was the one. When I think back to what we do and how we encourage teachers to think outside of the box, think differently, disrupt the norm of, what has been happening for years and years, he was the first example of what I saw as a student and how I know that I can model, after that. Because he was the one I remember. One day we walked into our high school and his door was completely covered in black. You could not see in. Come to find out, he had created a whole like speakeasy in his classroom because we were learning about that time period and, everything that went with it. And he was the only educator that I ever had that kind of pushed the boundary with instructing content in a different way. And it was one, as a student, I remember the stuff that he taught us because I was engaged, I was intrigued. He made it relevant to me, like, at that time. And then, along with that, he was personable. Like, he wanted you to
Yes.
do well as a student. And so, like, he was a phenomenal educator.
That's
So,
fantastic.
yeah.
Man, what an impact.
I know.
Shout out to those teachers.
know.
That's fantastic. I mean, after how many years?
Oh, I am not gonna say how many years.
Oh, but okay, isn't that true though, that I think that any educator friend or person, they can pick out at least one
Mhm.
educator that has made an impact in their lives. And can you imagine? I don't know. I'm sure there's professions out there that can do the same, but man, we
Mhm.
have so much power to be so impactful in such a positive way,
Mhm.
um, to do that. Well, okay, so I this podcast is going to be different ideas that you could bring in to appreciate your teachers. So one very memorable way that I felt appreciated, I just did move to Gillette, Wyoming. I didn't really have any friends, and that was hard for me because I like to have all the people. Um, and that year, Kara and I had met sometime in February.
Mhm.
We started, I asked her if she wanted to go run with me. If you know us, you've heard the story. She really couldn't say no. So then we started running together and we became rather close. So between February, March, April, into May, we had been becoming a little bit more friends. I was trying not to scare her away. But moving forward to that, we had the week of Teacher Appreciation Week. It was literally the first day. And I had this beautiful flower arrangement with a Gerber daisy. It was orange. I can still see the purple bow, everything sitting on my desk. And I was like, oh my goodness, who sent me this? And it was Kara.
Mm.
It was Kara. And the impact that made on my life, that someone would have taken the time and spent the money, right, on this. I mean, even if it wasn't this beautiful flower arrangement, just, from Smith's or whatever, the grocery store, it was that moment that I was like, oh my gosh, we are friends. She's not going to let me go. I feel so appreciated in this
Mhm.
moment of having that. So I think that even the smallest gestures can make
Mhm.
such a huge impact to show your appreciation for someone in your life, especially
Mhm.
those educators that are with you, whether
Mhm.
they're your colleagues or they're your teachers, of your own children. Just showing that appreciation
Mhm.
is just huge. So
And it's kind of, thinking of it in a different way, teachers do have a huge impact on lives of almost everyone. If you think, a majority of kiddos go through school in some way, shape, or form. And whether it's, public school, homeschooling, co-op, whatever it might be, there you have a teacher, but the cool thing is with the Teacher Appreciation Week, you get to show that teacher the impact that they have had on your life in some way, whether it's your teaching partner or whether it is, an admin to your staff, or whether it's, a student to their current teacher, former teacher, whatever it might be. um, Having someone recognize and also appreciate the impact that you're making on their life, um, it impacts us as educators, like, in a huge way. It's a great reminder, when on the days are hard, it's a great reminder of, why we keep doing what we're doing. And it is definitely an inspirational and a motivational thing to receive
yeah.
those things, for sure.
And I think everybody likes to know that they're doing a
Mhm.
good job. So our first tip, our first idea is to just tell them.
Mhm.
Just use your words.
Mhm.
Walk down the hallway, go into that classroom and say, Mr. Smith, I absolutely love what you are doing with your kids. during this time. I can see the interaction that you're making, whatever it is, whatever you've noticed, the smallest and biggest thing, just tell them, say something nice, say something kind out there. Just say that. Take time out of your day to just say something about what you've noticed about an educator, because at the end of the day, we all go to our jobs, our buildings, our classrooms, and we are putting our best foot forward. So to have someone recognize that and know that we've been trying, or something that we've worked really hard at, it just feels good. It feels good.
Absolutely. And that one is free.
Free.
It doesn't cost anything. And you know, kind words can go a long ways.
A long ways.
Another idea that is free and doesn't cost anything, if you are a fellow teacher or in a leadership position of some sort, a great way to show appreciation is to, you know, maybe cover a teacher's duty, or to give a teacher a 15-20 minute break of, you know, hey, why don't you go down the street, grab a coffee, or why don't you, you know, use this time for whatever it is that you
Go
need
get
to
some
do.
sunshine.
Go sit outside for a few minutes, you know, go plan if that's what you feel like you need to do. Whatever it is, you get 15-20 minutes or however much time you can spare to, you know, have a little break. And and it's not that I don't think you're doing a good job. It's because you've been working so hard, and I appreciate the hard work.
Yeah. And honestly, we had one year, our counselor had a fantastic idea. You signed up for your time slot to have her come into your classroom. It was like 30 minutes, I think. And you could go to her office. She would have like tea or coffee at your leisure, or you could, whatever you need to do for 30 minutes. And she came in and she had this little mini lesson. She made all these little paper hearts, and on the hearts, she had our classroom students write little messages about why they appreciate us, why they love being in our classroom. And then she made it into this cute little banner, if you will, garland with string, and she hung it up in our classrooms. And man, that is cheap and easy, but what an impact to have. I still have my heart garland in my drawer, because just all those little messages from your students, just saying what they appreciate of you. So there's an idea as well for that.
And that kind of leads into too, you know, as a teacher and a mama, anything, you know, a handmade card, a note, you know, from the parents, or a handmade note from the kiddos, or anything like that. It doesn't cost a lot, but the sentiment goes a long way.
Absolutely.
Most teachers, if you ask, I guarantee you most teachers have some type of binder or file or something that they keep all these kinds of things in. I call it the love binder.
Me too. I have a love binder. Oh,
and
mine's
it's
pink.
And it's literally just stuff full of all the years I've been teaching. It's just stuff full of cards that I've kept, notes, pictures, you know, pictures that kids have drawn or whatever, of things that have meant a lot to me, you know, because of the relationships I built, because of, you know, just the impact that they've said I've had on the student or the family or whatever it might be.
And then on those hard days, I like to take out my love binder and think, okay, oh, and then you just pull some out, and gosh, it just is so, I mean, it doesn't have to happen just on Teacher Appreciation Week, but what a good reminder during this time to make sure that you say that.
And we're in a profession where, you know, it's really cool because we do get those things, you know, not everyone does. And so, and, you know, it just really goes back to, like, teachers do have a great impact. So a love binder, I go ask one of your teacher. If you're not a teacher, have a teacher friend, go ask. I bet
they do. They have a folder
of the sort.
Something. It's probably might not be very organized, but they know. They know. And somewhere in there, I'm pretty sure all of us have our school picture from all the years that we have taught. We're just like keeping them. For some reason, we're gonna have this giant binder of all of our school photos.
Keeping our school picture is,
you never know when you're gonna need a good school picture. I'm gonna send them out one year as like Christmas cards, just so you have my face. Okay. Back to the flower thing. What's really cool, our PTO came up with this idea, and it was they sent out a letter home to the parents, and the students brought flowers. Just one, you could buy a bouquet, and you just give one flower to every teacher that you appreciated. So at the end of the week, you would have this smorgasbord of different types of flowers from different students, just showing your appreciation. So
yeah, they were trying to create like a bouquet for
Mhm.
a bouquet for the teachers, but in a more unique way where it kind of showed, every flower was an
Represent from
individual
a student.
student type of
Yeah,
thing. And
yeah.
so it was really cool because, we had students that from years past, previous
Mhm.
students that were coming and seeing us, and which that is just a cool thing in itself
I know.
because the lasting impact. That's really cool. And then, seeing kiddos that are coming up and giving us, just the excitement that they have that you're going to get to be their teacher type of thing. And then current students. So that was a really cool experience to be
Mhm.
involved in. And again, you can go get flowers from the grocery store, a $5 bundle, and giving a teacher one stem is, it's not a lot, but it sure can mean a lot for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Mhm.
My all-time favorite that would probably cost a little bit is an old-fashioned coffee cart. Coffee cart. Put in your coffee order, call your local coffee place, I mean, there's so many.
Yeah.
We have a lot of trailer coffees. Like little coffee
Like they'll come to you type
businesses.
thing?
Yeah, come to you coffees. Oh, that's a come to you coffee cart. Put in your order,
Mhm,
your PTO, maybe just appreciate them with a cup of coffee,
mhm,
some tea, a special drink. We have a pop cart that comes around sometimes. They load it up. Our counselor had this great idea. They've put different types of soda or drinks on the cart. Stop by your classroom. What would you like? Little snacks.
mhm,
Just, I mean, even those little gestures just to kind of show some
mhm.
appreciation.
And that one was really cool, the pop cart, because our counselor did it, and it was actually throughout the school year.
Mhm.
So, maybe twice a month on a Friday, you'd see Hope Squad kiddos or student council kiddos coming around with the cart, saying,
Ting,
"Hey,"
ting, 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 ting.
like as it's going down the hallway.
And you're like, yes.
And you're like, "Oh, it's coming." But just a really cool way to continue to show teachers, "Hey, thanks for what you're doing." Even, whether it's just on, Teacher Appreciation Week or something that you'd like to try
Yeah.
to do throughout the year.
Yeah,
So,
and you don't okay, I might be odd man out on this one, but you don't have to go all out on Teacher Appreciation Week. Um, we've had some phenomenal PTO ideas, but at the end of the day, sometimes simple is better.
mm,
We've had people come in, do massages, or they try to bring in like all of this, they try to think so big, to try to just show so much appreciation. But at the end of the day, say something to
mhm.
them, just tell them to their face, make a handmade card, just
Treats,
treats. Yeah,
coffee,
we love
something simple.
just simple. Keep it simple, but appreciate.
Mhm.
Yeah, just say something.
Yeah.
I
I think
really
that's
like
what I
that.
think it comes down to that a lot for sure. Just
Yeah,
saying
we
something.
have, yeah, we're so unique.
Mhm,
Educators, I think every profession has their uniqueness about it, but there's
mhm,
just something about educators that we always put our best foot forward. We want to do what's best, is overwhelmed and burnt out sometimes as we feel.
we keep showing up.
We keep showing up in the best way that we can. And I
Mhm,
think it's just a great reminder. So,
mhm,
as you listen to this and teacher appreciation comes up, we challenge you to show appreciation in some form, whether it be just telling them or giving them something to appreciate. Just choose
mhm,
five. Choose
mhm,
five teachers,
mhm,
five educators, and just tell them,
mhm.
because the impact on that of a simple Gerber daisy from your best friend now makes a huge impact. So the people will remember for sure.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Okay, if you have other ideas about teacher appreciation or things that you're building, your school, your colleagues have done that you think would be wonderful for others to know about and try, make sure that you leave the comments on this video, and then we'll put it together and share it on our social media. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow to all of our things.
Yep.
We've got all kinds of great ideas for end of the school year. We have a great surprise for you on our next TNT
Mhm.
episode.
I'm so
It's gonna
excited.
be so good. You're
So
not gonna
excited.
wanna miss it. A great start to a new year is my tip for that. So, Don't miss out on that. Also, make sure that you are following us on all of our social media. Kara does a phenomenal job posting all of those posts, showing us what we're doing, showing you what we're doing in our classrooms, things that we have coming up. Also, we are starting to book for our end of the summer. We're kind of booking up in summer, but fall sessions. So if you're wanting integrated to come into your building, your school, your district, now's the time to contact us and see how we can bring in some of the learning experiences and the ideas and the things to start your year off strong.
Yep. Learning experiences, unlocking the content, finding your voice,
all the good stuff.
All the good stuff.
And last but not least, integrated cohort.
Yes.
We have opened up our integrated cohort for 2024-2025 school year.
That's crazy to think. And we already have spots taken.
Yes.
Which is crazy.
Which we are limited because we like to keep it small because our little teacher community has the best impact. So we only let in 25 of our educator friends. If you're interested in that, head on over to integratedk12.com. Click on the tab that says integrated cohort or the cohort, and it will tell you more information on how to sign up. If you need more than that, make sure you reach out to Kara and we can answer any questions that you have.
It is available for teams as well, or school buildings. It just, the setup looks a little bit different. So just give us a shout if that pertains to you.
Awesome. All right. So go appreciate an educator coming up. And we can't wait to talk with you again on our next TNT.
Absolutely.
All
We'll
right.
see you guys soon.
Bye, friends.